Emmett belongs to two nations, the Nisga'a Nation and the Haisla Nation. Emmett's name in Nisga'a is Scuadach Gadam Gwydalam Ak, which means strong, always fighting little raven. And that's to signify the biggest fight that she's had in her life. Lana, she was 34 weeks. The ultrasound tech had told the physician that there was something wrong. There was water on our baby's brain and that we needed to be shipped out as soon as possible. By 11:30 that night, we were at BC Children's Hospital. We'd met close to 30 to 40 doctors in the few days that led up to Emmett's birth. At that time, we didn't know what was gonna happen. If we were gonna lose our baby, or the possibilities are just endless in those kinds of situations.
On the fetal MRI, we were able to see an actual mass in the brain, and so it was pretty clear that it was probably an aggressive brain tumor.
We didn't know how long we would have with her, so every day is emotional.
To find out your child is sick even before they could start their life was hard. Fast forward to C-section day, we were told to expect Emmett to come out where she would be limp and just to prepare us for the worst. When she came out, fists flowing, sticking right out, and she screamed at the top of her lungs, we knew she was going to be a fighter from that day.
The location of the tumor is really central in the brain, and so it's intertwined with everything that Emmett would need to function and survive and breathe. And so being a newborn baby, we were advised that it was very unsafe to try to remove any part of the tumor.
We didn't have very much hope, and at the time we agreed to chemotherapy.
So the type of chemotherapy that Emmett received involved her staying in hospital to be monitored. So she was in hospital for most of the time that she was receiving it, and then afterwards just to support her because she was so young.
The next round of chemo would have caused some major side effects like hearing loss and vision impairment, and we didn't want to do that to Emmett.
The biopsy then revealed that Emmett had something called a high-grade glioma. So we sent her tumor for molecular characterization, or we try to understand, are there certain genes that are affected in her tumor? She had a unique genetic alteration just in her tumor that was special to her type of high-grade glioma. At the time that we identified this genetic alteration in Emmett's tumor, we had an open clinical trial here at BC Children's that was targeting this specific alteration in brain tumors and in a number of other cancers.
It was like the gods opened up and said, this is the day that we know she's gonna be okay.
One of the great benefits of this type of medication is that it can be administered outside of hospital, so she can be at home. And for some children like Emmett who don't live close to the hospital, being at home means everything.
The hospital and the nurses, doctors were great, but being able to move home is also better.
We've always wanted to raise Emmett in our communities. We had the opportunity through BC Children's Hospital to move home because of the clinical trial.
Emmett is 2. She's a strong little girl. She's a leader.
We didn't know if our child was going to be able to say her ABCs. Now she can count to 10 by herself. Emmett can sing a few songs in Haisla just as well as Nisga'a. She will tell you her name is Emmett Charlie Dawn Doolin and have the biggest smile on her face. And that's what we're trying to get Emmett to do, is to be proud of who she is and where she comes from with both Haisla and Nisga'a. And that's really important because if we date it back to the residential school days, we didn't think we'd see this kind of stuff for our people and have them speaking their own language again, because all of that was taken away at one point. The revitalization of culture and language and tradition is going to come back within Emmett and her age group and hopefully make a full comeback. The clinical trial has brought so many more possibilities to a lifestyle that we can give Emmett. She's able to live a normal life rather than being stuck in a hospital for days on end.
Emmett's future is unknown, but we have seen that this clinical trial has given her life. She's like every other normal, healthy 2-year-old that you can imagine running around on the playground. In Emmett's case, it was serendipitous that she was eligible and able to participate in a trial that lets her be at home. But of course, it's not the similar story for every family. In order to treat our children well and move forward, we need to be on that cutting edge at that forward place of clinical trials, because that's where the science and the discovery is happening. That's where collaboration is happening. So other kids with cancer or other childhood diseases can benefit just like Emmett has.
If this clinical trial didn't come about, I don't think to this day we would have my daughter. We don't know what tomorrow holds, but with Emmett today, she brings so much love and joy and happiness to so many that are around her. I really thank BC Children's Hospital for helping our child grow to be the spunky little kid she is today.